Good evening, guys. As you can see tonight, we're talking about DCC block detection. I'm just gonna wait until more people show. Okay. Hey, Ethan. See, this is one of the block detectors that we'll be talking about tonight. But there's essentially a total of 8 different types of block detection out there. Some of them have benefits for DC, others have benefits for DCC, and some are universal. You can use them either way. But this one here, I'm doing good. I'm been legally cleared, medically cleared to drive. Now it's just the matter of waiting on everybody's least favorite place. And as best told by a Secret Life, well, not Secret Life of Pets, but Zootopia, the DMV, because we all know how slow the DMV is. They utilize sloths as the picture for the character for most of the DMV workers, for obvious reasons. But I'm going to start on the DC side, which the beauty of this is there's literally thousands of various plans for malware train detection. You can there's manufacturers like Digitrack, Circuitron, NCE, practically all your major mall train manufacturers, including Marklin, produce their own signaling detection equipment as well as the signaling system. But this is just one of the DIY variants of it, which there's another variant called the Twin T, which is one that works very well for DC. This is just came up with by the same guy who developed that, Bruce Chubb. Ironically, I'm friends with on Facebook, and I've been talking to him because there's one part that I cannot locate locally. And that's a pulse transformer, which I'll go into detail on this a little bit further in the article. But this was in, well, if you've heard of CMRI, that's what it is. CMRI is who Bruce Chubb is, as you can see in the article here, what it stands for: Computer Malware Interface, and the OD is as a detection circuit, so you know where your train is at on your layout if you're monitoring it by a train or by a computer. In case you're wondering, I'm using my old phone. There's the current, the one I do most of the videos on. Which, not getting back on to doing a little bit of an additional update, that's the new computer that I'm going to be utilizing in the near future for Minecraft. I got, ironically, on this very phone right now, I've got Minecraft already loaded on it. All I have to do is sync it into the hard drive. That's a Windows XP machine. Hey, for the price tag, I only paid $45 for that. And a few other, I got a photo printer and a scanner, as well as keyboard and mouse, and a bunch of other odds and ends for $45, and I didn't even have to leave didn't have to go 5 miles to get it. Come on now. And it's got more than enough horsepower under the hood. That's a 16 gig hard drive on that damn computer. Plus I got a Blu-ray DVD player with it. Come on now. For $45, I got a steal off. And that's Dell, by the way. But for what I was going to use it for, because most of the mod packs I'm going to be playing are 110 and older versions of Minecraft. Because unfortunately, it's currently all further actually, I think 1.12 might have Railcraft, but I'm not sure. I need to look into that a little bit further. But that's getting off topic. Getting back on topic, the various forms of detection you can use, simplest being the old school relay system. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have that kind of money right now. I just got the just filled out paperwork today to go back to DMV to let them know that I've been medically cleared, which technically the end of the 6-month window is the day after my birthday. Or actually, it might be on my birthday because it was March 3rd where I went. All I can say is knock on wood. Because that will be one hell of a birthday present. But anyway, as far as the types of signaling system or detection systems, first one, this is going way back to the early days of model railroading. The old school relay. Then you got, of course, the Twin T, which is another fairly old system, which that system started coming out, I want to say, in the early 60s when transistors were just starting to come into picture. This here is just a variant of the op-amp, of it utilizing what they call a quad op-amp microcontroller, which is that chip there. That's the benefit of this system. And mind you, these boards here, this system here, I've already got everything here except for that transformer, which I need to talk with him about other options for it. Because that transformer, I'm having a hard time. I mean, I could probably find it on Amazon. But I got the potentiometer and all that stuff to build it. So that's the route I go. But as far as next one, if you really want to get into heavy duty stuff, there's a laser option. It was also featured in Model Railroad magazine a couple years back. As I find them, I'll start setting them aside, and I'll probably build one of each, and we'll do a test and see which actually works and which ones the plans are just straight up garbage. But the next one after that is actually one of the universal ones. And it uses a photo sensor and a light to break the beam. Once the beam breaks, it sends a signal to a similar circuit to this, which triggers to let you know you have a train in that block. which is basically what we're doing. It's generating logic. Hey, there's a train on this track, send that signal to red. And then the next one to yellow, etc. Actually, it's a lot simpler than what people realize. If I had more time, I would have brought a thing in, or another book in that actually shows you how to build this stuff. And it's something that was produced back in the 80s on how to build these circuits. But then there's a optical detector. Hi, Cheryl. I haven't forgot about the track. I just got done inventorying. I was getting ready to email you. Then, getting back to the various types of detectors, I just mentioned optical. The way this type here is actually what they call current sensing, which is actually how the prototypes operate. Because you have essentially on the main line, and a lot of people don't realize this, there is a current going through those rails. The engines just produce power and run the traction motors. But what they do with the track is when, like say, a car or train sitting on the main line, well, you got a solid steel piece of metal or wheel set where it basically completes the circuit. What they call shunting. That's where this system shines, because it senses, oh, there's a sudden change in current. There's a train there. Boom. Fast as you snap your fingers, it sends that information into the logic system, which generates a signal, which tells that trackside signal change. But the actual signal system is beyond the scope of what we're talking about tonight. We're just talking about the basics. And this is where I'm currently at too, so we're going to be learning this together. Now, DIY, one of my subscribers, which I need to find his channel right quick. Which I should be able to, because he just posted 500 video sub. Or 500 subscriber thing. Which you guys may want to go check out here in a moment. Consider this a shout out for him as soon as I find his channel. Because he announced it earlier this morning. You guys see that? He produced a video that uses Arduino, which is essentially a microcontroller that uses optical sensors, and he shows you how to program it to operate signals. And that's actually how he's running his layout, but I've been talking with him about a couple projects, and he's getting ready, actually followed up on several of them. But DIY and Digital Railroad is who I highly recommend going and taking a look at that video if you want something simple and relatively cheap to build a signal system from. This here is more of a hands-on, if you know your electronics kind of project, and that's where I'm currently at. Considering I just picked up a slew of resistors, and including some very high-powered ones, 10-watt resistor wire-wound ones, which I also have a 100-watt that's going to be getting tied into my ground. So if a lightning strike hits, my digital command system doesn't go up in a puff of smoke. Because I probably got I think between me and Sparky, I think we're pushing same power range. I'm currently running at an 8 amp system, but I've also got a 3.5 amp booster up in Richmond that I'm letting somebody borrow right now because it's currently on a trip down to Florida being repaired. Then, now getting back to the other types of lock detection, you've also got, of course, the commercially available current sensing ones made by Digitrax, NCE, Lens. Oh god, and that list just goes on and on, including Zimmo. Which Zimmo is practically, as far as cost goes, in the Cadillac range. But it gets a little bit sticky the further down you go, but with the way the simplest system as far as how it works and the way I explain to people, hey Jamestown, with the relay system and the way real trains run, you got, like I was saying earlier, you got your mainline track and you got your rails. Well, the rails are already pre-isolated, just like we use on the models, except they use an epoxy that glues the rail joint together and it takes care of things. But the way it works is, okay, you've now got one isolated rail. Your other rail is a common, just like on a block wiring system. What you do in that situation, you run the coil portion of your relay to your track, the control section of your track. When there's no train in it, the relay is in its normally closed, normally no load position. The moment that a train comes in, oh, I got a load, click. That way, it tells the system, okay, go to red. And this works fine for just a red and green signal, because as soon as the train clears, which you'd have to have a resistor on each wheel set if you have metal wheel sets, which you can pre-buy those. So, let's see if I can remember. Fox Valley sells them, and NHO, but of course O-Scale has its own specialty niche. But there again, we're mainly talking NHO here. But getting back on subject, saying it's just so many different things that compile into this. And I'll tell you right now, it's not cheap, but the way I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it one section at a time. And as the system builds, as you've been seeing, I've been posting update videos on a pretty frequent basis. Which, as you guys may have seen if you watched my earlier video, I have been medically cleared to drive now. Hopefully for my birthday, I get the green light from DMV. And all I can say is the following on that. But basically, the way this is all what I'm getting at is this is the very basics of the beginning of a signaling system. The easiest way was, as I was showing a few minutes ago, DIY and Digital Railroad came up with a signaling system utilizing Arduino, which you can pick an Arduino all the way up to a pretty high M one. And oh, I ran out of spots. Buy another Arduino, build and add on to it. That's the benefit of that one. You can keep buying the boards and growing. And there's a whole, it's all open source. That's the benefit of it. Ugh. But, so in case you guys are wondering, I understand how that is, Jamestown. So you guys are wondering what had happened, why I was having, or what was actually going on, which my neurologist just cleared up for me earlier today around 10:30. I was actually having severe panic attacks, which were causing seizure-like activity to where I was blacking out. And mind you, this is while I was working at Papa John's, moving and dealing with my wife. Well, 2 of the problems are gone. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to flip anybody off. And I'll probably end up, once I figure out how to edit that out, I will edit it out. But now my wife's out of the picture, and Papa John's is out of the picture. The only thing I have to deal with is stress, which I'm now on Lexapro to take care of that. And that's also being clear. It's all being cleared by my neurologist. So now it's just a matter of waiting on everybody's least favorite Department of Motor Vehicles, to get cleared. But this is a system that I'm going to be building, and this is the original article that Ma Rader focused in the butt in May of 2000. But, which, in case you're wondering what the magazine, which one it was that has it, and yes, this does have Lorton Amtrak Auto Terminal, which is where the original auto train was based out of. Which, if you have seen the Great Northern Dome car that was touring with the Norfolk and Western 611, that is one of the original auto train cars. Which I just happen to have a model out in the shed. But everything you see here is available online under C/MRI. So this is the system I want to be building. And this is the Optimized Detector, or OD, which Steve and Bruce, the solar project's actually progressing. Right now the batteries are getting a full charge, a full 13.8 volt charge right now as we speak, off of just one 25 watt solar cell. Which, as soon as I get some more money, which hopefully will be tomorrow, if I get enough money, I can probably buy another panel, which will bump me up to 50 watts. Which, as soon as I get enough power to charge that system, that I plan on running it layout off of DC, or off of solar, using DCC and the Digitrax 8 amp system. But currently, as it sits, anything shy of 10 gauge wire, I'd suffer a at least 0.6 volt drop in current over a 14-foot distance. So I have one of 2 options: either A, extend the boot, use heavier gauge wire, or B, which is probably more like what I'm gonna do, is move the command station right there by the battery, so I can use a short heavy gauge wire run to it to power it, and utilize solar power. Which, as of right now, I'm only producing 1.75 amps. So you guys are aware, The system I'm using, the 25 watt panels, are only producing an amp and 3/4 volt amp, 1.75 amp a day, in an hour period. I'm not sure how true that is. I have to do some more testing to figure that out. But getting back on what I was showing you, you guys have all probably seen these schematics. And of course, this darn thing's gonna not want to focus. But and wonder what all these things mean. Well, there's an app that we can all download right off our phones. Or right on our phones. Friend of mine. Alright, now there's a variant, which I'm going to pull this up now so you guys can see it. Electronic Droid, which there is. Well, it's actually one of my ex-coworkers. There we go. Electronic Droid. This is a very, very handy app. It shows you how your resistor color code, which it's a very handy feature. As you can see, there's all your colors of the various bands of resistors. And it helps you out because it tells you exactly what the value of said resistor is, which is extremely handy. And of course, it shows you how inductor codes and all sorts of things, including surface mount resistors, for those cases when we have the mysterious puff of blue smoke and our conductors don't. That's the name of it. This is the Android version. There is an Apple or an iPhone variant of it. Electronic Droid. Now, you also have inductor code, color code, Ohm's law, reactive resonance, filters, voltage divider, resistor ratio. Well, if you have Android, focus, you pain in the butt. One second. I think an app, a Windows Phone variant of this. But this is Windows Electronic Droid is the name of the app. So there's a couple very handy features on here. You have your adjustable voltage regulator, very handy. Oh, and here's another real good one. It shows you how to calculate your resistor value for various power loads. Which all you have to do is type in your resistors and bingo. Like, okay. It even shows you the various types of LEDs. Including the cool white, which has, you can see now the standard draw of it. And the 20 mA is milliamp. But that's one of the benefits of this. Which the orange standard, if you're familiar with DCC, that's the one that you see. The common one they use on most of the older decoder boards. Which this is also, guys can consider this a review. But here's the most handy feature I found on this app. In case you guys were wondering how I calculated that voltage divider, the voltage drop. I'll have to take care of that in a few minutes. I have no clue why this thing is not wanting to focus. Hey Chaz. But what I'm showing right now is the electronic droid app. Which I don't know why it's doing this. It's probably because I got the screen brightness too high. It doesn't help this is a white background. But up here at the top, you can type, okay, there we go. You type in your material, select your material, which is copper or aluminum, then your wire gauge, which you type that in. And it does go up to what they call double aught, which is essentially 00, or higher gauge wire, which when you get into that gauge wire, you're talking about wires the size of your thumb or bigger. Then you have you can select AC or DC, which as you can see I showed select DC. Like, okay, distance to load, in my case it was 14 feet. And mind you, here's now a very nice feature of this. You type in your voltage and your expected amperage load, and it does the rest of the calculations for you. And of course the phone is going to mess up now. But the voltage drop within 14 feet at 5 amp current is 143.735 millivolt, which is 11% drop. So in 13 feet, you lose a whole 718 milliwatts, which boils down to it in layman's terms. You start off at 13 volt at one end, you're down to 12.8 at the other. Which may not sound like much, but that's how much resistance is just in your wire. Hence why I'm using DC, AC, because what most people don't realize, DCC is actually AC. No, well, we're not talking about solar. We're actually talking about the voltage drop, which this does play a factor in the detection cycle. But this is an app I'm showing you guys about tonight. That's the name of the app for Android phones. That's all I use is Android. But this is the it gives you a whole laundry list of features, and there is a payware version, but it also shows all your various cables, register jacks, etc. This is a very fun app to find, which there is a very handy one on here. Arduino boards are even included on this for pinouts. And then you also have libraries that show you various connections and such. Standard resistors, standard capacitors, circuit schematics, which is an extremely handy one for us that don't know what it means. And it goes for a little ways. Which, as you guys will be finding as I build these circuits and show you guys how to build them, which I want to make it where we're all not going to be scared of this. By the time I'm done, you'll be building your own circuits, and that's where this. Hey Jeff, I'm just showing an app I found called Electronic Droid, which there is one here. Oh, didn't even notice this. Amperage table, or amp capacity table. Very handy one for the channel. Ethan, I'm currently at 109, but this is a nice one I just found. And this shows you the loads and everything that most of the wires we use can handle. Like, okay. Now here we go. Here's another handy feature. Wire gauge and such. Like number gauge. Okay. Like what most of us use 20 gauge wire. It even shows on that. I have a pretty broad array of things, which, as I was showing earlier, that desktop over there, I've already checked. I can run Minecraft up to 1.10. Now, if I installed Java 8 on there, I could run all the way up to the latest version of Minecraft. Which, the latest version of Java, well, the latest version of Minecraft adds a whole laundry list of stuff to it. Which, in case you guys haven't noticed, how I have been, if you look through my list of liked videos, there are quite a few YouTubers I follow, which one of them being Forecaster. He's a wealth of knowledge on Minecraft. Which, yes, that is my TV. And which, one nice thing with flat screen TVs, they also have a monitor jack for them. And I just so happen to have a cable that took from the monitor over. Well, Mike, there's times when, like, if you've seen my shed, it's really not that well insulated. So sometimes during winter, I will have to resort to Minecraft because it's just too damn cold here. Because in case you guys haven't seen where I live, the outside, it's gonna be the first time anybody gets to see out my bedroom window. There's the outside of my house where I'm living. And as you can see, high voltage power lines, the works. But out here, it's pretty much on the back side of the house, it's nothing but a large open plain. But I'm showing you guys the specs on this right now. It is a Windows XP machine pay M4 processor. Which, hey, considering it's a Dimension 4600, I only paid $45 for it. I'm not complaining. Which I got satellite speakers, scanner bed. The printer down there, the silver one, is the one. Ugh. But as soon as I get off of here for the night, I'm gonna download the Minecraft latest version onto that machine through a USB cable, because unfortunately, as we all know, Windows XP is no longer supported by Microsoft. So until I come up with $120 to replace the operating system on there, I'm kind of up at Certain Creek without a paddle. Which, as soon as I get the operating system, I have a laptop that will be getting the same system, and I'll be starting to build the JMR or CMRI, which in conjunction with JMRI and LocalNet through a PR3, which essentially is a standalone programmer / USB connection. That's how we'll be operating. I know Windows XP and Windows 7 were the two I fell in love with. I personally wish that they would revamp 10 to the same format as those two, because it was so much easier to work on. But as soon as I get one of those boards built and I get the components gathered up, I'll probably do a video on how to build them. Yeah, I'm the same way, Jeff. Personally, I look at it this way. They should have just done what we all require. Well, actually, older versions of Minecraft, up to 1.10, it mainly boils down to which type of Java you have on your computer, which I have checked on this one. It has all the way up to 10. Well, yeah, Java 10 on it. But somewhere around here, I got the Blu-ray DVD drive, which just has a DVD RW and a DVD regular drive on it. So it's not complete that old of a computer. But for the price tag and brand, I'm not complaining. $45. And I got a whole bunch of, like I was saying, the printer, scanner bed, keyboard, mouse, which, so you guys can see, it's the old school ball type, but I got another one in here, somewhere here. There it is. An HP optical one. Well, as you can see, this is the one I'm probably going to swap to, because it's a laser setup, which means no more of the pain in the butt ball that we all grew to hate. But this, I'll probably be showing the mod packs and such I play, which currently the ones I'm going to be talking about playing in the near future is probably going to be the railroad related ones, which Railcraft, Traincraft, and a few others from Minecraft are what I'll probably be playing. As well, as soon as I get my Steam account back online, which as soon as I upgrade the operating system, I'll probably be utilizing the following. I'll probably be upgrading both machines to Windows 10 as soon as money allows. Which, one nice thing with Windows 10. Sorry, Chaz. It should be buffering. I'm less than 20 feet from the router. But there again, I am broadcasting currently off of an old cell phone. And ironically, an ex-Metro phone. But, yeah, I know I still have to make my bed. But there's been a laundry list of things that I've been working on out there on layout too. Which actually now this will probably show a little bit better on how the board looks and how things are laid out. Yeah, there we go. Now you guys can see. And so get another copy. It's May 2000, a Mall Rotor magazine. And which the funny thing is, I actually do have the original magazines from 1985 on the original optimized detector that Bruce Chubb designed. Ironically, I am friends with him on Facebook, so if I have any questions, I can go straight to the man to get answers. But this is the newest variant of the CMRI detector, which you can buy JLC PCBs, which a number of YouTube channels are sponsored by them. Which, to give you guys an idea how much that block detector cost to build, Byron, do me a favor and please drop the racial stuff. I do not approve of that at all. Even though I'm white, I will state for the record, I do not approve what you just posted. I am non-racist as it gets, so please refrain from using those comments again. Thank you. And yes, I do have quite a few African American friends. Key word there. American. I do not use any of the negative slang words for them. I'll have to see if I can do it from my other phone. Then Byron, please do the following. Say you're sorry. Because I will report you for negative comments, and this video will not be posted. Thank you. And never bring up racial usage against me on this page again. As you guys just noticed, he's now in timeout. I do not approve any of that type of messages. And also, if anybody else can report him, please do. I do not approve that any of that kind of crap being on my channel. But if anybody's got any questions on this, please speak up, because I don't mind having any answers. Well, answering anything. I'm doing alright. But getting back to the topic on hand, this is one of the reasons why I brought this up, because a lot of this stuff was built to come out with a modular format, which the cost of it to build these detector boards is actually relatively cheap. I personally prefer, I'm a Trump fan, and I support the president regardless of color. Yes, he might be a bumbling idiot at times, but guess what? At the end of the day, he's still our president. Good or bad, he's doing good. He's helping this country out. But you will be seeing me starting to build some of this stuff. I probably won't be using the motherboard, though. I'm more of a fan of old school hardwiring. This just goes to show you how to hook it up and what can be done. Which this also includes a pretty in-depth thing on how it works, as well as testing it, blah, 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 blah. Which leads to another thing I probably will be doing. Which, in case you guys are wondering what I use for my scenery, yep. He's in timeout, guys. And also, any of the ones that I put in timeout, if they continue, go ahead and report them also. I do not approve of any of that kind of political or troll crap on my channel. And Mike, I probably will be sending one of your engines out to you here in the next week. The only thing is I don't have any K number 5s to install on it, so hopefully you don't mind that, but I have fully repowered it with a little bit, something a lot more easier for you to find parts for in the near future, which is, I was able to utilize it, one of the newer Bachmann drive chassis, the 8-wheel drive. So you're going to have a good solid engine when you get it back. Yep, that's one thing I do. But getting back to the scenery glue I use, it's a product called Mod Podge, and you can get it all the way up to a 64-ounce container. Cut it with water. Well, a 16-ounce container makes a gallon of the glue, and it works great. And it's cheap, too. That's the other benefit of it. And as far as the coal goes, I actually utilize sand As for your other engines, I'm still looking for a Jeep 9 chassis, so that's going to be taking a little while to find. Although, if I can gain access to a milling machine, I could probably fix it up even better. Yeah. But, going back. But we were talking about detection tonight, and that's one thing I wanted to bring up in case anybody had anything to ask on the detection circuits. Go ahead and ask. You're welcome, Mike. Which, right now, the two systems I've got, well, I've got both parts to do both the optical sensor. I've also got parts to do which is essentially a photoresistor, which essentially, if you're familiar with the way night lights work, they detect the amount of light detected, which turns them on and off. That's essentially the way these work. But you have a board similar to this that controls the sensitivity, which essentially that's all that big resistor there does. Which all that is a variable resistor. But all this is available online. Which Bruce Chubb is on Facebook. That's out his actual name, but you can see how long the system's been around. Basically, 33 years is how long it's been around. But as previously stated, I got most of the components. The only one I don't currently have access to is one that goes by PT1. Come on, phone. Quit messing up. It's a current sensing pulse transformer. It's sold under JLC, which ironically, JLC PCB, you can order the boards to build this, like so, for around $2 for 10 boards. Ugh. And I don't know if anybody heard earlier, but they have determined what type of seizure what I was having. It was actually anxiety / stress / whatever else you want to label it as. Episodes where it was causing me a blackout. But the doctor said it's not a seizure. It's seizure-like as my body goes and tenses up and essentially turns into a log. But it's not a full-blown seizure, which is a good thing. But like I was previously stating, I got most of the components to build this. The only thing that's holding me up is that damn current sensing pulse transformer, which you can get a little bit of an idea on how this works here in a moment. Your top pin is your logic ground. Then you got your track common, which essentially just makes a complete loop through it. Then you got the connection goes, and you got your 12-volt power coming into it, which is essentially the logic ground and the 12-volt input are actually your power input to the board. Then the track is the other half of the track connection, which is simply this red wire here. And your V out is your detection feedback, letting you know, hey, you got a train in set XYZ block. But you have an idea of what I'm going to probably be building here in the near future. And just so you guys are aware, in a few moments I'm going to be going off the air. But Ralph Greenwood just went live. Google Flyover, which I might do that in the near future using Google Earth, showing you guys the railfan locations near me. Because hopefully soon, as soon as I get a vehicle straightened out and my license fully back, I'll be doing some going around driving, and hopefully, if I can play my cards right and find a place where I can easily railfan off the Norfolk and Western Main Line, which is about a 20-minute drive from where I'm currently sitting, we can probably do some railfanning. Which one perk? It's right at everybody's favorite restaurant, if you're familiar with Dairy Queen. Yes, you can. This is a part of the CMRI system, which they have a whole laundry list of other connection points. Because the way that works, this is just some of the examples of typical connections you can do with this system. You can hook it up with multiple LEDs in the parallel relays. This is the typical use of it for the CMRI input, which I should be able to pull up the guy's YouTube channel that explains how to do this in better detail than what I can tell you, because he built the whole system from scratch. Really fun. Okay. Here's the channel that I'm recommending you guys if you want to learn a little bit more on the CMRI system. I highly recommend He's HO. But this is officially a shout out to Stephen Bennett. Although his father, Rob Bennett, is the one that does most of the videos. This is his son's channel, which, as you can see, he just finished up staging as well as industrial trackage. But he does have a playlist on a laundry list of subjects, because he even goes into detail on how he does scenery and such. And he does a lot of prototype railfanning too. Which, just so you guys are aware, if this doesn't go live, those trolls are what it caused us for this to go live. But I will, if requested in the previous videos, I will redo this in a non-live video so you guys can see the pros and cons of each system. Which I'm gonna do. I'm gonna use a prototype breadboard and build an example of each so you guys can see which you like. Which everything I've described thus far is currently commercially available, with the exception of the laser system detection system. That it's a little too dangerous for the average consumer to build. Hence why I'm suggesting leave that one to the people who actually know how on how to do it. But anyway, guys and girls, have a good night. Southern 207 out. Now, if I can remember how to talk, there it goes.